Hello, Cynthia. Good morning. How are you today? Monte, welcome in. You've been waiting. Thank you for waiting. I'm glad I can finally get back to streaming. Good, and you? Very tired. Yesterday was a pretty long day. We were out most of the day from very, very early in the morning. Um, but it was productive. I don't usually go on the how how would I say this? I don't usually go on the girl shopping trips, like the girl group shopping trips, right? Like that's not usually something I'm included in. But yeah, so they were kind of out all day, and I was just kind of following them around because my sister really wanted me to be there, and she made that pretty clear. So that's quite fine. So I went with her. She did pick out a dress, which is wonderful. It wasn't the one I wanted her to try on, but that's fine. I might put this on Instagram, don't I? Let me see here. I also haven't made any coffee yet this morning, and I did finally find, I had to go through all of my boxes to find my bricky pot, but I did finally find it. So now I can make coffee. So you might get to go on an adventure with me over to the the kitchen, and I might make some coffee. But we'll see. I can only prepare this coffee hot, so I need to cool down a little bit since it's relatively warm here. It pretty much always is, but uh, it's quite warm, so I need to cool down a little bit now that the AC is on. A good sibling. Well, I try. She did, take time out of her weekend to help me move. So, it was kind of like the least I could do, to spend some time this weekend with with her, even though it was mostly, well, I would say it was just mostly me following around and giving moral support. But I did get promoted to fitting room attendant, so I helped her in and out of all of the dresses, and I pinned them and all of that for her as she was trying them on. So I got to help there. I was really surprised that the attendants at the shop didn't offer to do that, since normally at a bridal salon, the employees are the ones who help the brides in and out of the dresses. But alright, that's fine. So I helped her with that. I should have exercised my fitting room attendant privilege to just have her try on the one dress that I wanted. It's like, yeah, you just try it on. You don't have to get it. But I really want to see how it looks. My sister, for context, is like model perfect. So anything she wears is gonna look amazing on her. So I really wanted to see it, but that's fine. Alright, let me get this posted over to Instagram. A little tired too, because in your country it's 32 degrees. Oh God, yeah. That's about how hot it is here, I'd say. Obviously we use Fahrenheit, not uh, what's it called? Celsius. But yeah, I think we're close to that here. Because we're looking at several what's it called? 90 to 100 degree days. So 90 degrees is about 32 Fahrenheit. Uh, to kind of give you an idea. So 90 Fahrenheit is about 32 Celsius, and we're looking at probably between 90 to 100, and 100 would be 37 Celsius for context. I'm melting. 32 there. I'm surprised. For some reason, I wouldn't imagine that it gets that hot there for you. I don't know why I have that idea, but yeah. Yeah, it gets very hot where I am. I'm in a valley, so we don't really get any of the kind of cool air from the ocean. You have to go up over the hills to get to all that, and then it's quite cool on the far side once you're out of the valley. But where I am, no luck. All right. Oops. All right. Oh, very humid. Oh gosh, humid's even worse. I'm lucky that where I am, our heat is relatively dry, but man, the humidity is killer. I would prefer heat to humidity. It's really rare because I live in Germany and the normal weather is raining and cloudy. Yeah, I prefer rainy and cloudy. Oh my goodness, weather. I'm the only one in my family though who does not suffer from seasonal depression. So I love like rainy, overcast. I love that foggy. I love that kind of weather. But like my mother and my sister, if they spend too long in that kind of weather, they start getting really depressed. I don't know too much about my dad. I feel like to a slight degree, yes. Um, but as for me, I absolutely love it. So I'm the weird one. She could have tried it on for you. What dress did you want her to put on? I wonder if I could draw it. Hold on. This is the sketch that I am working on of Bronte and Cyril. This is based off of an interaction in Volume 2, which I'm not going to describe for spoiler reasons, but it's going to be very cute. Let me see. I actually tried. Okay. wonder if I can just do it this way. This is going to be a very bad artist rendition of the dress. It would kill for a dry heat. Dry heat is definitely the superior. If it's going to be hot, you don't want to be hot and humid. Okay, so let's see. I'll just do like a little... just a little shape here. I'm so tired, I'm actually having trouble keeping my eyes open, so I might need to grab that coffee here pretty soon. But just to give you kind of an idea. So the dress that my sister ended up getting, kind of, it's a strapless dress because it's actually damaged. So the place that she went, for some context, they're having a very small wedding, so she doesn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a dress or anything like that. And the place that she went is actually a like fundraiser charity shop. So they deal with mostly consignment and secondhand dresses from, not from individual people, but from companies, right? So bridal companies, when they cycle their fashions through or whatever it is, they will then donate those dresses or consign those dresses over to shops like this, who then sell them at very, very low prices, and a portion of that goes to charity, so on and so forth. So she was looking for a cheaper dress, and this one in particular actually had this kind of, all of this, all of the bodice, that's all lace, and it had this kind of like sheer lace bit on top, but it was actually torn because this dress came damaged, so it was torn. There was kind of like a big hole right there. And my sister is also very athletic, so she has like a really nice kind of décolletage, and her shoulders look really good. So she doesn't want to cover that up because it looks really nice, especially if she's, you know, gonna wearing like a necklace that really flatters her. So she didn't want to cover up her chest or shoulders. So she just removed that part. So now it's a strapless dress. And kind of has like a waist about like that. Again, all of this has lace on it. And then it's more of an A-line. So it's too long for her, but she's going to get it hemmed. Both my sister and I are very short, so almost everything is too long on us. And then it has the skirt is made of tulle, and it's kind of got layered pieces kind of going kind of all the way to the floor. And each one of these layers has, I believe it's called a horsehair trim. I'm not entirely sure. But basically the tulle itself is mostly sheer, and it has like a slightly thicker band, and it's all kind of, you know, ruffled, and it's very pretty. It moves very nice. She's not planning on having any kind of dance. Like her husband doesn't, her fiance rather. See, I did it there too. Her fiance doesn't necessarily want to have a dance again. They're going to have a very short, they're not really having, oh God, what is it called? They're having the ceremony, but reception. That's what it's called. They're not really having a formal reception, in that there's not going to be, you know, a dance or like a first dance and a mother of the groom kind of dance, father of the bride dance. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to have a short, sweet ceremony and then just a dinner with family. So she's not worried about like having to bustle it for dancing or anything like that. So very cute. But the one I wanted her to try on was a bit different. It was, first of all, again, for this dress, this part of the bodice is lace, and then this is tulle. And the dress I wanted her to try on was entirely satin. So it's a different material, and it had kind of fitted elbow-length sleeves. They kind of had cuffs on them. Had fitted elbow-length sleeves, and then It was off the shoulder. I don't remember if it had this little dip or if it was straight across, but it was something like that. So it fitted sleeves, and then it had some kind of boning, not really pronounced, like it wasn't trying to look like a corset, but it had kind of some seams in the fabric that gave it some structure, and you could kind of see those. And they came down to about the natural waist. And then the fabric was kind of pinned and draped, kind of like this. And one of the things that my sister wanted in any dress that she tried on is she wanted it to have a train. This one did have a train, and it was kind of pinned, let's see, kind of up in the back, and then kind of ruffled down. So yeah, so that was the dress I wanted her to try on, but she didn't end up trying it on because my mom didn't like it. And then she ended up getting this one, which does also have a train, so it's longer in the back. So that's the one. Those are the two different dresses. My mom took one look at the dress that I wanted her to try on. She was like, "No, put it back." So my sister didn't bother trying it on. My mom argued that it was quote unquote too Disney princess-ish. And I was like, first of all, what's the problem with that? Second of all, the other one just looks just as princessy. So what are you talking about? Anyways, so I wish I'd convinced her to try it on, but whatever, not a big deal. She looks good in anything. So, but yeah. So those are the dresses. She tried on a bunch of different dresses, of course, but yeah. So she found one and she got a good deal on it because it was damaged, and luckily it was damaged on the part that she was going to remove anyway because she's making it strapless. So she's very pleased about that because bridal gowns get just ridiculously expensive, just absolutely absurd prices. So she was happy about that. It's a shame we don't have such places here. Yeah, there are a lot of bridal salons here, but my sister had to do some digging to find this one. Uh, so I'm glad we found it, and I'm glad that it was close by. We did have to drive a fair ways, like we had to go all the way downtown, um, which for us is probably close to like 45 minutes. It's a fairly long drive for, like running errands. There are lots of bridal salons that are much closer, but that's the one she wanted to go to, and that's where she found her dress. So when you chose looks so fantastic, I think it would have looked. Listen, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. This with like a pearl necklace, and she's got dark hair. I saved it like she's got dark hair like me, but you guys don't know what I look like. But we both have dark brown hair. Hers is a little bit lighter than mine, but we both have dark brown hair. And so I'm just like, imagine like a pearl necklace, some pearl earrings, with her hair up and then a veil on. It would have been beautiful. It would have been really classy, but it's fine. All right, let's go ahead and close that. This sketch started as something else, so we'll see if I can kind of make this work. I was kind of scrambling to figure out what I'm going to draw today, because I got home so late, and I don't know how long stream is going to go, because I got home late, and then on top of that, I got a bunch of notes back from my beta reader for the standalone, and I need to go through all of those, and I need to be working on that. And the way that we're doing, she and I, this person and I, the way that we are doing the beta read is that we are doing a manuscript swap, which means that she is sending me her manuscript and I am sending her mine, and we both beta read each other. So I have a fair bit of reading and notes and critiquing to do. So I have a lot to do today. On top of, the normal weekend things like chores and grocery shopping and, all the stuff that I didn't get to do yesterday. So I'm not sure how long stream will go, but we'll see what I can get done. As long as she's happy. It's true. As long as she's happy. I think she still needs to get a veil because the dress that she chose is ivory, and I believe the only veil that my mom has for her to borrow is white, so she'll have to get a different veil, but I'm not sure where she's gonna do that. I'm sure she'll figure it out. I think my participation in my participation in the whole thing is kind of ended now that the dress has been found. That was the part my sister really wanted me to participate in, and then the rest of it, like the wedding planning and the catering and all of that, my mom's gonna be handling that because that's kind of what she does. So, um, he would have been wearing his capelet actually. He's got so many layers to his clothing. I know I gave him all those layers, but still. He's protecting his tiny vampire. You gotta look out for the tiny wife. You gotta protect the tiny wife. But yes, he technically probably should have this arm. He should technically have it higher because the context for this is that it's raining. So he's got his cloak kind of pulled over. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably adjust his arm a little bit, but we'll see. The whole point is that it's raining and he's got a lantern and he's kind of walking with her. Actually, because that's not a normal lantern. That's one of the church's lanterns, so that should not be that color. He just wants to be closer. It's acceptable. She won't melt from the rain. I'm sure she is taking advantage, but she also has to be careful being that close to Cyril because his garments will sting her if she's too close. So she's fighting for her life because she's trying to stay under the cloak and out of the rain, and also not get zapped by his clothing if it touches her. So she's gonna have her arms all tucked in tight against her body, so her hands don't get stung. Poor thing. And I guess, yeah, he would have his hat on in this case. So let's see here. I haven't really decided which way he's going to be looking. Originally, I actually had him looking like down at her, but then I thought he should be like looking up in the direction he's going to take her. But I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Um, let's see if I can put the hat on. Something like that, give or take. Oh yeah, so I made that announcement about the YouTube community thing. I don't really know what that is. YouTube just randomly sent me an email. It's like, congratulations, you're eligible for this new feature that we're rolling out. I'm like, great, thanks, I guess. But it's not really clear what it is. It does say that members, like followers, can post. Um, I have moderation on it right now because I didn't want it to. This is my assumption, is that it would just get spammed with, you know, bots kind of coming in and being, trying to shill stuff. So I have moderation on, so every post in the community has to be approved by me first. But I don't know. It's really like not clear because if I quote unquote post to the community, it just takes me to like my normal posts. So I'm not really sure if it's working or whatever. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit more. But hopefully, that'll be fun. I don't love Instagram, especially because Meta and their whole AI scraping thing. I don't really want to be on Instagram. I just feel like it's the only place I can kind of post art. But maybe with this, I can start posting art directly to YouTube. So obviously, I'm still using Blue Sky as well. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. So maybe it'll be good for that. I don't really know. I wonder if I can do polls there, because it would be fun to do some polls. I actually have been meaning to do a poll for um, a upcoming YouTube video, because I want to poll people and see which video I should work on first, because I have a couple that I'm trying to work on in the midst of everything else. I saw people on other YouTube communities posting lovely pictures of their pets. That's so cute. Yeah, I hope that eventually my community can be used for that, but I know that I don't have a huge active community, and normally you need a really quite sizable community to kind of start those things, but who knows? You know, maybe with enough time, and maybe with me hopefully actively using YouTube a little bit more. Because yeah, I have a couple of videos that I need to get working on. I'm not sure about one of them because one of them requires hiring a voice actor, and I don't know if I can afford that right now. Because I don't want to read it myself. Because what I would like to do is do some sort of wallpaper or, you know, kind of splash art, for lack of a better term. Do some sort of artwork and then have the prologue for Immolation be read, which is a couple hundred words. I would have to see how much it is. But I would like to have the prologue be read out and just have that kind of be a video on YouTube. So it kind of gives people, I don't know, an idea of what to expect if they want to read the actual book. But I don't think that I should be reading that myself. I don't think I have a high enough quality mic. I don't think I have the experience of voice acting to do that kind of thing. But also hiring a voice actor is expensive. So I don't know. We'll see. I might do that, I might not. But that's one of the things. And then I know I have a couple of lore videos that I'm working on where I kind of talk about different pieces of lore. Like I have one for the church, like the church as in the religion, not like the physical structure of the church. But I have a lore video about the religion. I have a lore video kind of about Bronte and just a little bit more information about her. I have one that's more of about Cyril, and I have one that's kind of about the world at large. And I have one for alchemists. I have a bunch of these different lore videos, and they're all kind of, the scripts are written out and everything, but I just have to fine tune them, and I have to decide which ones I want to post and in which order. But hopefully those will be fun, because animatics take so long to work on, and I don't want it to be, you know, years between each time I post a video, because I know that's not good for the algorithm gods. all videos, but where's the D, all of the above option? Well, I do hope to work on those, and hopefully you guys will like them when they're released. I don't really have any kind of announcements channel. I don't know. Maybe I should put one in the Discord where you can like get pings for I don't know. I feel like asking people to be pinged for streams and videos is a bit much. So, in what order would you prefer to make the videos? Um, I feel like I mean I just enjoy talking about lore, but I am trying to be mindful of in what order would make the most sense to someone who is not me. I think I would probably want to start with probably the religion video. I think that one would make the most sense since Immolation focuses so much on the church, because obviously Cyril's a priest. I think that one would probably be a good starting point. I am currently working on Volume 2, right? So I've been writing Volume 2. So because of that, I'm also thinking a lot about alchemists, because we learn a lot more about, well, we don't necessarily learn a lot more about alchemists, but we meet an alchemist in Volume 2, and because of meeting them, we learn more about the alchemists and kind of what they do and how they think. Um, so I would, because of that, I'm like excited to talk about alchemists because I've been working on writing it, but that won't necessarily make sense to someone who is not me. I think I want that to be like kind of wrapped around, like he's holding the fabric in his fist, kind of. And I guess I could make this whole thing a little bit windier because it's kind of like a storm is supposed to be happening. The prologue, the prologue could go up anytime. It's mostly a question of I would need to draw something. I would need to do some sort of splash art, and it would need to be of the church, right? Because the prologue itself is about the church. So I couldn't just have it be like a picture of Cyril. Like I can't just draw Cyril for that because the prologue isn't talking about Cyril. He's not that special. No, the prologue is talking about the church itself, so I would need to draw something for that. So that's mostly going to be waiting on me because that's a big undertaking to draw something that detailed and that large scale when I usually simplify it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about kind of what order I want to go in. Obviously, videos like, well, I mean, say videos, but I mean lore conversations about, Bronte and Cyril. I have to be careful because I don't want to spoiler things that you're going to find out in later books. But if it's stuff that I've kind of already talked about in Volume 1, then I can just kind of elaborate on it a little bit more. Makes sense to you? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to trying to balance what information I give like on YouTube and in like through visual art versus what I leave for the book is a challenge for me. I tend to be extremely selective and secretive about what lore I release that is not in written form, mostly because I've had issues of theft before, and if it's written down, it's copyrighted. But if it is just visual art, then technically it's kind of up for grabs. So I want to kind of be careful there, and obviously spoilers. I haven't really decided. I guess she could just kind of be like, she's not crossing her arms, like she's not supposed to be, just like kind of holding herself because she's cold. She's been out in the storm. James, hello, welcome in. What are you sketching right now? So this is a scene based off of a chapter in Volume 2, which I'm currently writing, which has Bronte and Cyril. So Bronte, this is Bronte. She doesn't have a face right now. This is Bronte, and this is Cyril. And she was kind of caught out in the rain, and he's helping bring her inside because she's all wet and cold and definitely needs to not stay out. Otherwise she's gonna get sick. But yeah, he's just helping her get back inside. I'm gonna add like some rain and stuff to this later, but yeah, it's just a little scene of him walking her inside when she's kind of been caught out in the rain, which is the most context I'm giving at the moment because of Volume 2 spoilers. Oh no, how much of your work was stolen before? I've had people trace my art before, which is not fun. I don't like when people trace my art. I had a lot, so I had a lot of that. I had a lot of people tracing Cyril and then just changing his color palette, and then like for example, they would trace my art, change his color palette so that he would have like brown hair or whatever, and then they would take that and then they would go commission artwork from artists with those references. So now there's a bunch of brown-haired Cyril art floating around. I've had people take writing too. Most of the theft had to do with writing, which because I wasn't publishing it, it wasn't really copyrighted in the same way that my published work is. But yeah, I've had people take like full chapters that I used to post and like put them on Patreon behind a paywall, and then they were getting paid for my writing. Yeah, so I've had a lot of kind of like theft over the years. I'm a very jaded old man when it comes to the internet, and people stealing content to monetize it. Um, I'm not really aggressive in my monetization of my work, so I really don't like when people take it and slap it behind a paywall. I've grown more careful about it, just kind of as things have happened over time. But yeah, there's definitely been a fair bit, so I'm really careful just about what information I give to people. It's not fun because I love talking about my characters. I wish it was different, but it's not the world we live in. People will steal things. So which arm do I want to be in front? I'll need to clean that up later, but it gets the basic idea across, because she's supposed to be kind of, like, really cold, because she's kind of been out there soaked. Terrible, awful people. It's really disheartening. Yeah, it was really frustrating. I dealt with that for a really long time. I tried to get the person's Patreon taken down because it was stolen. When I say stolen, I mean verbatim, word for word, and they just changed the characters' names. Sometimes they forgot to change a name, so Cyril's name was still in there. Like it was really blatant. This wasn't like, oh, they made a character that's like similar to Cyril. No, obviously, that's ridiculous. People take inspiration all the time. I mean, this was like verbatim, copy paste, ripped straight off of my blogs that I used to have back in the day, and just posted straight to Patreon because I could read the preview because Patreon does that. It shows you like a little preview, and then you can pay to keep reading. Or maybe it did that back in the day. I don't know if it still formats like that, but that's what it did back in the day when I found this going on. Patreon didn't do anything about it. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't follow up with that kind of stuff. It's just not worth the energy, but I'm very new, but where can you find the first book? Well, thank you very much for asking. Here, let me go ahead and put a link in the chat for you. And I can show you where you can get it. Alright, there you go. So that's the link to my website. That'll show you the first book in the series, which is currently the only one published. I'm still working on the second one. And you can watch the trailer, or you can look at the reviews, or you can look at the purchase options. Thank you very much for asking. I really appreciate that. Right. Now, she needs her habit over her. Hold on. Let's see here. You can't really see because she's kind of got her arms right about her waist, but Bronte has like a little, instead of Cyril, who has a metal rosary because it's magic, she just has a wooden one that's used for prayer, so you can't really see the cord because she's got basically like just a rope cord around her waist. I would say she usually, yeah, kind of like is right on her side, so it'll be hanging somewhere around here. Just kind of a vague idea. And poor girl, she's very embarrassed that Cyril found her out in the rain, so she's not going to be, let me see if I can, she's not going to be too enthused about this. She's going to be pouting a little bit, but I'll do her face later. Were your first works all about Pirate Cyril? Yeah, the earlier ones that I was posting on the internet were pretty much all the pirate. So yeah, I got those are the ones that got ripped off. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I really missed doing Pirate Cyril. I still write a lot of him. It just isn't published right now. But yeah, I am really excited to, you know, and I say this like it's gonna happen soon, because obviously it's not going to, but I'm really excited to go back to Cyril. Priest Cyril kind of came about because I was very disheartened by all the theft that was going on because of Pirate Cyril. My voice is failing me, oh my goodness. Excuse me. I was really disheartened by all of the theft that was going on around Pirate Cyril, so I made the priest as kind of like a break from that, and then it ended up kind of turning into this much bigger story that I'm having a lot of fun with, so. But Pirate Cyril is patiently waiting for me to return. He's got a pretty convoluted story, just like the priest does, but they're both terrible, awful men. She's like pouting, and he only has one eye, so he can't like roll both eyes, but Cyril's just like, oh brother. All right. Naughty kitten. Yes, exactly. She knows she's not supposed to be out. They technically have weather forecasts in this world. They do exist. If you have read Volume 1, there is a single line in Volume 1 that insinuates this, but I didn't, with everything going on in Volume 1, I didn't have time to talk about, like, oh, by the way, weather forecasts exist. It's not an important detail in the grand scheme of things, but yes, weather forecasts exist in this world. So she has absolutely no excuse for being caught out in the rain. So when Cyril finds her, she's like, ah, dang it. Do you stream often? I stream every other Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have been off for a couple weeks because I was moving house and did not have internet. But now that I'm back, it is every other Sunday, 11 a.m. PST. And that is here on YouTube. I might do some streams over on Twitch if I feel like it, but they probably won't be on Sundays. Sundays are for art, but I might also stream on Twitch now and then if I feel like playing a silly little game. Okay, yeah, so he does have his capelet on. He doesn't have his cane with him, which I'm not sure if I should give him his cane. He usually doesn't go anywhere without his cane, so he should still have it. Cyril, why do you carry so much stuff? I guess he could just be holding it in the same hand that he's holding the lantern. So it'll just kind of be like, oh, that's too small. So it'll just kind of have it. I don't know. We'll see. Because he wouldn't have it in his hand. But we'll see. Women make up for the awful man. We have some very patient, very patient and long-suffering women who tolerate Cyril's shenanigans and his drama. He's such a drama king. All right. Let's see. I think I need to fix. There it is. I don't like how far that is, so we're gonna bring that back a little bit. There we go, that's better. We all know Mara is like the most long-suffering of them all. Bless her heart. Her terrible son. Then we're gonna have, because I think he'd be, yeah, he'd be kind of like rasping at the end of like, so I'll have to look up references for these hands because I can't twist my hand quite that way and look at, and well, I can't, that has to be my right hand, so well, I guess I could mirror it, but can't really flex my hand that direction and draw at the same time, so. But yeah, he's kind of like holding the edge of the fabric. So you can't really see his thumb. As a heroine, she truly is. Bless her heart, she has raised a man. Did she raise him well? She did her best. He's I can't say it with a straight face. I was like he's an honorable enough fellow most of the time. Don't be so mean. Shares a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's true. Listen, to her, he is a most perfect gentleman. He can do no wrong. Okay, well that's going a bit far, but yeah, probably he can do no wrong. Mama didn't raise no fool. Cyril prohibited Allah as a child. Maybe now he's trying to take the best of it all. Mm. I'd say it depends, because Cyril, as a child, he wasn't born into the church, right? So he didn't, grow up like Bronte grew up in the church, right? Like she was brought to the church as like a newborn child, right? So every single memory, her entire childhood is within the church. That's not the case for Cyril. So he didn't come into the church until he was about, oh boy, he probably went to the church when he was probably 9 or 10, give or take, maybe a little bit younger. And at first, he did not like the church at all. He didn't like the church at all. He was really angry. And then over time, he started to kind of warm to the church. And kind of in that time, I would say that before he went to the church, obviously he, didn't have to follow any of their rules or, anything like that. Mara wasn't particularly controlling. And so I think when he went to the church and he kind of started warming up to some of their ideas, the part that he didn't like was how controlling the church is, because Mara really wasn't at all. So he definitely had a rebellious streak as a kid he had to go through. Because Mara didn't really limit him much at all. She was like, yeah, you'll figure it out. But I think Mara also, because they both came to the church, right? So Cyril was a little kid, and then Mara obviously, was with him. And I can imagine that she appreciated some of the church's rules and their, the way that they try to raise children and so on. So she probably would have encouraged Cyril to, kind of abide by their rules. Both because she also was kind of warming up to their kind of way of life and because she wanted to, be respectful. But he definitely had a rebellious streak at that point. And I would say he didn't really lose that rebellious streak until he was much older. You could argue that he still has it, even as an adult. But just a little bit. He got most of it out of his system when he was younger. But then again, when he was younger, he wasn't the archbishop. So now that he's the archbishop, he's like, I can have whatever I want. Which is not the right way to think about it, Cyril. But it's fine. I think that's pretty much all of her skin that you see. Yeah, because you can't see her legs. So. Absolutely, he does still seem like a menace to society. Depends on which part of society you are. I'm excited for Volume 2 because you get to see Cyril doing more stuff than you kind of get to see in the first book, but I don't know how to say that without including spoilers, so that's the best we get. I guess I should have made that. Whatever, it's fine. It could be fun. Well, never mind. I guess you can't really see it. I don't know. think about it. I was gonna say it could be fun to have him in his hunting attire rather than, his normal cassock, but I don't think in this particular case he would be wearing that anyways. And even if he was, you wouldn't be able to see it because he's wearing his cloak. So, never mind. But I'm sure Bronte would have lots of conflicting feelings seeing Cyril in his hunting attire, which is not all that different from his normal cassock, but he's wearing his armor and he changes the way that he wears his cassock a little bit. And it would be fun to kind of see those mixed feelings and how those play out for her. Have you already decided on the deadlines for the Black Knight standalone project and Volume 2 of Immolation? So not Volume 2 of Immolation, because Volume 2 will be going through like a formal round of edits with my editor, and that will kind of depend on her availability and how quickly kind of she is able to go through it. So there's a little bit of fluctuation there because I have to be working with another person for that. But for Black Knight, my goal is July, but I'm not sure when in July. That's very soon. So it might not happen because publishing itself can end up taking a little bit longer. But hopefully, because it is with a beta reader, and a beta reader is reading the final draft of the manuscript, right? So they're reading, the finalized version and looking for like last changes that you want to make and last tweaks and things like that. So it is in that final stage, but I don't know. I'm really torn. There's like basically two different versions of this thing I can do. Anyways, but soon, soon for that one, because that one ended up. I wanted it done a lot sooner, but just life happened. Moving house and everything. But yes, so July for that one, hopefully. I'm not sure what specific date. And then Immolation Volume 2, I would like it sometime next year, but I really don't know, because it's really going to depend on my editor and kind of what problems she finds, because we're doing developmental and line editing. So developmental editing is all about the story itself and the content and the pacing and things like that, versus line editing is all about like the grammatical structure and all that kind of stuff. Black Knight is not getting a formal edit, but Immolation will be getting formal edits. Okay, that's fine. extremely soon. Yep, it is very soon. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have to review a bunch of the notes that my beta reader sent to me, and ideally I would like to get at least one more beta reader kind of squeezed in there, but we'll see if I can make that happen or not. But yeah, I have a lot of writing work to do today, and oh gosh, I haven't even thought about what time is it? Hold on. Oh boy, I might do another 20, 30 minutes for stream. We'll see. We'll just kind of see, because I have to do my grocery shopping, and I have to work on the writing, and I have to do like all of my housekeeping that I didn't get to do yesterday. I have to wash my dishes and all that fun stuff. So, do my laundry. I guess I should do the front part. I'll do it later because I don't feel like doing it right now. Just give him the littlest earrings. Let's do that. That'll do. I'm not gonna worry about his cane right now either. But I guess you would be able to see his rings. I have to go to the pharmacy today too. I wonder if they're open. I think they open for a smaller window of time today. Ugh. Come on. Don't be difficult. Could you please tell me what the difference is between beta reading and ARC reading? Of course. So beta reading is only reading the manuscript before it's published, and you're looking for pretty much anything. So beta reading, it really just depends on each reader. Some readers will be looking more for grammar inconsistencies or spelling errors or things like that. Beta readers will also usually go through and just give you a first impression, right? So they're an outside pair of eyes who are just reading it and giving you their thoughts and first impressions. They can also look for a couple of developmental things like story inconsistencies or characterization issues, but generally speaking, they're giving you like a reader's opinion before the manuscript is published. So if you have, and this is what I'd prefer to do. So let's say if you have 3 beta readers, each of them are giving you their different opinions, but all 3 of them say, oh, chapter, as an example, chapter 5 felt really slow and I was getting kind of bored. Then you know that you have an issue with chapter 5 and you can go make edits and adjustments to it. And all of that happens before the work is published. An ARC reader is someone who reads the published book, so everything's done, it's published, there's no more changes. They read the published book, usually for free, in exchange for giving it a review. There's no stipulation in terms of like your review has to be good or bad or anything like that. It's just you get a free book in exchange for writing a review. and that's what an ARC reader is, and I usually have to send out like batches of invitations and basically applications for people to say, are you interested in this book? Because there's a free copy available if you ARC read, which means free copy in exchange for review. They're not trying to give you critique on what you should change before it goes live. The book is already live, it's already published, so they're reviewing the final product. I had a total of 5 beta readers for, I think 5, might have been 6. I had a total of 5 beta readers for Immolation that gave me feedback during the writing process, and I had upwards of, I think I had about 80 ARC readers. And you'll notice I had 80 ARC readers. 80 people at minimum. It's probably a little bit more, I just don't have it in front of me. 80 people got a free copy, a free book of Immolation. Immolation only has 8 reviews on Amazon. 8, not 80, 8. So ARC readers don't usually hold up their end of the bargain. They're usually just trying to get a free book out of you. And that's fine. You just have to play the game. But yes, that's the difference between beta reading and ARC reading. One is for developmental feedback during the writing progress, and one is for the final review on the finished product so that you can have reviews on Amazon and Goodreads and so on and so forth. Ting, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. But 80 to 8 is crazy. Yes, it is, it's rough. Normally to get, like, for example, I spoke to another author who was fortunate enough to have her book go live, and within a couple of days she had about 100 reviews on Amazon. And so I asked her, I'm like, I'm curious because I know what my ratio for books sent out as ARCs, which are to get reviews. I'm like, I know what my ratio of ARCs sent to ARCs to reviews received. I know what that ratio is. And generally speaking, yes, you usually get about somewhere between a 3 to 5% return. It's a really low return. A lot of people will take free books and not hold up their end of the bargain. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I was trying to make it sound nicer, but it's just the way it is. It's how it goes. So I asked this author who had published her book and it had gone live, and she had about 100 reviews after a couple of days. So I asked her, I'm like, how many ARCs did you send out for your book in order to get 100 reviews on like the 3rd day? And she said, I sent about 850 ARCs. So she sent 850 books out and she got 100 reviews. And that's just the way that it goes. I sent about 80 books out and I got 8 reviews. Granted, okay, I got less than that because some of the reviews on Amazon are not from ARC readers. They are from people who genuinely picked up the book on their own and gave it a read. And I am also using Amazon as the primary metric because most people just look on Amazon. there are more reviews for the book on Goodreads. So there are, I think, 18, 17, 18, something like that. At least ratings. I don't know if there's, I think you can leave a rating on Goodreads without leaving a review. But there are 17 or 18 or something like that reviews on Goodreads. And some of those, a fair amount of those are good, or excuse me, are ARC readers. And some of those are just people who picked up the book. Maybe I could sign up for an ARC. I'll definitely write a review. You're more than welcome to sign up for an ARC if you would like. I will be opening up ARC applications again for the standalone. That's what I was going to call it. I was like, gosh, what do I call it? The standalone novel, which is very different from Immolation. So do be sure to read the about and the trigger warnings and all that. That one will be opening up soon. But if you apply for that ARC, you can also, like, I'll provide like a little checkbox of if you're interested in receiving like Immolation ARCs, you can let me know and I'll keep your email on file. You just have to be kind of mindful because Amazon gets really, really particular about like your friends and family can't leave reviews for your books, which it makes sense, right? But you have to be careful that you don't mention anything in like your review about like I got a free copy from the author so I can leave a review, because you're not supposed to say that. It's all kind of, you just don't mention it. If you're a big traditionally published author, you can mention it, because traditionally published authors and publishers, they do ARCs too. It's a very normal thing to do. But publishers, big professional publishers, send out like thousands upon thousands of books for ARCs so that they can get reviews coming in. And if you're a big publisher, you know, that's fine. You could say that. But just as a wee little indie, you're not supposed to say it. You can't say the quiet part out loud. But that's okay. We just played the game. That's how it is. Fonte's reaction to the 850 books. Yeah, it's crazy. I have sold, I would have to check my numbers, but I think Immolation is kind of creeping up towards about 200 books sold. It might have passed 200, I'm not sure. Which of course is very thrilling to me, and I'm very, very grateful. Otter, you made it. Welcome in. It's good to see you. How are you today? I'm drawing a fan art for you, but it's taking a long time because I'm busy studying. Well, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I'll be very excited to see it whenever it's ready. Studies definitely take priority though, so do your best. Fight the good fight. Rotting Beach, welcome in. How are you today? I guess I should actually do their faces. I go so out of order when I sketch things. Let's see. Whose face should I try to do first? Should I do Bronte's or should I do Cyril's face first? Sunny, goddamn, I'm late. Welcome in. I love the art you're doing now, my heart. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very pleased with it. I want to do more sketches that have Bronte and Cyril interacting, because those end up being my favorite. I did one a bit ago of them just kind of walking together on the stairs, and yeah, it was so cute. I want to do more sketches with them just interacting together. Okay, we have two votes for Bronte, 1 vote for Cyril. Now 2 votes. Okay, we're tied. You can't do this to me. You got to choose one. Okay, Grumpy Man. Okay, so Cyril has 3 votes. 2 for Bronte, 3 for Cyril. So Cyril's winning. Drawing with you. Your art is looking good. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy to hear. I'll be excited if you feel like sharing. Of course, no pressure. I'd be excited to see your art, though. I love opening up art streams and then drawing at the same time. That's one of my... I don't have a ton of time to do that anymore, but I do love doing that. Cyril. Grumpy Man. Ting says Grumpy Man. Alright, Grumpy Man it is. Cyril gets to go first. Alright, let's see here. There we go. That's his face. I'm kidding. Alright. Okay, so actually. I don't know if his mouth is going to be open, like to kind of insinuate that he's saying something to her, or if it's going to be closed. It'll probably just be closed. I'll have to figure out shape I want. Leave some space for Grandpa. Congrats on your move. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to have finally made it into my new place and to finally have internet. Thank goodness. That was such a nightmare. I tried to use this different company that's special to this like local area. I tried really hard to get them to come out and get me all set up, and it just never worked out. So I ended up having to go to the other company, and now that the other company has me all set up and I'm working fine, I keep getting spam phone calls from the other company. Like, oh, you sure you don't want to have us come out? I'm like, I gave you all the chances in the world, and you failed. You failed me, so you don't get my money. Sorry. I really should sketch in a base before I keep trying to do the details. Ugh, fine, I'll do a base sketch. I like the position of his mouth, so that'll stay there, but it'll probably get adjusted. And he looks like he's smiling, which I don't want. Open and ready for a smooch from Bronzy. Look at her. She can't reach. She's gonna have to ask him to come down a few floors. No, we can't have him smiling. Cyril has a permanent frown on his face, so no smiling. It's like Edna, no capes. Don't really be able to see that other eyebrow, but still. Have you already gotten accustomed to your new place? Not quite. I will still wake up in the morning. Like I actually did it this morning. I still woke up and thought that I was in my previous house. It's really funny how I'm just like my brain has not fully computed. Part of it is, granted, I am not entirely moved in the sense that I still have a bunch of boxes. How many do I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's empty. I have about 6 boxes of stuff that I still just need to figure out where it's going to go. I also need to buy some furniture because obviously I need things now that I did not need in my previous house. You know, like I need um, like a little kitchen island. Like I plan to get a baker's rack for my kitchen, somewhere to kind of have some extra counter space and store some stuff. Uh, I need to get a display, kind of like a display cabinet. So I have a bunch of things that I need to get, and I can't really entirely unpack until I have those things. That is really bright. Hold on. So I feel like once I get all of that taken care of, I'll feel a little bit more settled in. Like I was mentioning, I only just now found my bricky pot, so I can finally make coffee again. Which I will make some after stream, because bricky Greek coffee, the style that I make, you can't just make it. You have to watch it because you make it on a stove, and if you are not careful, it will boil over. It will get everywhere, and you will have wasted perfectly good coffee. So, yes, I'll have to make that over on the stove. Does Cyril have a crook in his nose? Oh my goodness. Does Cyril have a crook in his nose? I've never noticed. He has a very subtle one. He mostly, like, the little tip of his nose, his mom would tease him about this all the time, and he's really embarrassed by it. He doesn't have, like, a really strong crook, but he basically has, like, a little button nose at the tip, so it starts off with, like, a stronger shape, because Mara has a very, very strong nose, and then it just kind of tapers into, like, a little cute button nose. He's really embarrassed by it. He doesn't like it, because his mom used to tease him about it so much. But yeah, he's got, like, a slight... I wonder if I have that other portrait that I just drew of him. Hang on. Here we go. I have this portrait that I drew. I can just paste it in here. Sure, that works. There we go. So you can kind of see the shape of his nose from this portrait. Cyril smiling, the world would end. It's true. It took months to move into my living room. I needed so many shelves. Yeah, so I'm renting, so I can't like put up shelves, like nail them into the wall. I mean, I could. I just don't want to have to go through and spackle them all when I leave. But what I would like to do is I would like to get some sort of display cabinet, where if you know me and if you know any of my other Instagram accounts, I say that like I have multiple, but well, I technically do. I want to display my dolls. So I want to display Cyril and Bronte, and I would like to have them in a cabinet, ideally with glass doors so that they don't get dust on them. But they are relatively tall. Bronte's about 57 centimeters tall, and Cyril is 72 centimeters tall. And most shelves aren't quite tall enough for him to stand upright. He has to be sitting down. Bronte can fit, like, just barely, but I don't like having her standing up because her ankles are kind of weak. Anyways, I'm getting too detailed into this. The point being, I would like to have some sort of display shelf for them so that they can be on display, ideally behind glass doors, but I'm having trouble finding something that has tall enough shelves that isn't ridiculously expensive or needs to be custom built. Because, like, I'm not paying for something to be custom built. I am renting. I just want to chill. So we'll see. That's probably the biggest thing, because I won't really feel like I've moved in until I have them on display. Cyril usually gets to stand on my desk with me, but he's still in storage right now, bless his heart. I meant to get him out, but I just haven't had time. And I don't like getting him out of his box until I have things sorted, because I don't want Not that he would, but like I don't want him to get like dust or stuff on him, so I don't know. We'll see. Because I've been dusting out like the air conditioner and so on and so forth. But eventually, I would say that the baker's rack for the kitchen is probably my first purchase that I'm looking at, and then after that, maybe a kitchen table. And then after that, it would be a display for the dolls. So it's gonna take some time to kind of get everything sorted and kind of feel really settled in. But I have been cooking more, which is something that I miss doing. Cooking and baking more. Because I wasn't really able to do that at the old house. I could do it, like I could physically do it. I just would be bothered by people. No, Tall Bronte has got weak ankles. She does, unfortunately. Poor girl. Antique cabinet, maybe? I mean, as soon as you say the word antique, now you're talking about a lot of money. And also with antiques, because they're usually solid wood, they are extremely heavy, um, which adds on to the difficulty of it. Ideally, I would like to get something just cheap and that can be delivered here and I can assemble it. I don't mind assembling furniture. It's not the end of the world. Um, versus something I have to pick up and haul here, which will mean borrowing my dad's truck and all that. So it'd be more convenient if I can get something that I just assemble, but it really depends. If I find a really good deal on something that's an antique, obviously I'll take it, but no. I might open his mouth. We'll see. I will decide later. We're coming up on 1 o'clock, so I have about 10 more minutes. Let's see if I can finish his face in that time. Probably not, because I'm really picky about his face. Remember to read the dimensions on your furniture so you don't end up buying furniture for children. uh, true. I had to measure because I've got the way that my kitchen is kind of laid out. I'm basically going to put the baker's rack opposite the kitchen counter, so it'll kind of end up being a little bit like a galley kitchen, at least in that kind of corner. Uh, and I'm probably going to put the baker's rack and then a little kitchen table. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 2 chairs or 4 chairs. I don't really host at my space is the big thing, right? So I have my mother and my sister both have big houses with lots of seating for lots of guests. So whenever we have family coming over, they host. So I'm not really worried about hosting a lot of people. It's just like having the occasional friend or family member over for coffee. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do 2 chairs or 4 chairs, but we'll see. It's like I've forgotten how to draw lips. I kind of would like to have his mouth open, so... I'm not super happy with that, but being picky about your character's face is so really, it's true. I've drawn Cyril's face so many times and just I can tell when it feels right and when it doesn't. This one doesn't feel right, and I think I know why, but we'll see. This is what I get when I don't actually do like the base sketch first. Whatever. He'll be patient with me. He has no choice. I am his god. Oh, oops, that's all together. Hold on. I'm also doing this just from memory without any resources pulled up. So that's my bad, but again, I am his god. He doesn't have a say in this. Considering like the edge of his face isn't even sketched in, it is what it is. Too handsome for a grumpa. Exactly that word. Cyril's new title is unofficially grumpa. My couch came in one box with instructions on how to build a puppet theater out of said box. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not super happy with that face, but he looks too young almost, I think is the main thing. That is all. See, the main thing is with Cyril, because he's got such a particular face shape, normally what I do is, which I'm not going to do right now because I just don't have time, I have like 5 minutes, but normally what I do with his face is I will have, like, the edges of his face are very sharp, so I will have all of those drawn in beforehand, and then basically I can position his features afterwards. So that's more of like how the edge of his face should be, but what I think the main thing is that his features are just too small, which is like the big thing for me right now. Sure. Well, this is supposed to be a sketch, so I'm not being too precious with it. That's not what I wanted. So basically, especially considering the position of his ear, this all needs to be changed. There we go, that's already looking better. There we go. That's much better. The proportions are getting fixed. Eye bags. Listen, Cyril's got to have his eye bags. It's part of his charm. I'll give you some context for the fan art. It's called Despair and is set immediately after the Hellfire video. Bronte has to run away and has taken refuge in a small church. She's lost all hope in people or God. She decides to make a desperate prayer to the Virgin Mary. That sounds so wonderful. Oh my goodness, you made me so excited to see. I love him. Listen, he's got to have the eye bags. I'm so excited. That sounds wonderful. I am, again, focus on your studies. Please don't feel stressed or rushed, but just know that I will be very excited to see whenever you are finished. I should not be doing this from memory. I should be looking at resources. I shouldn't be doing this, I say as I keep doing it, but it's fine. I have 4 minutes. I say that like the world's gonna end or something, but no. I just I just really need to go grocery shopping before it gets too busy. It's already gonna be horribly busy on a Sunday, but it is what it is. Someone, man, last time I was at the grocery store, someone tried to like guilt trip me into letting them cut me in line. They were like, "Oh man, I just have the worst headache. It'd be really nice if you let me go ahead of you." I'm like, "I have like 5 things in my cart. You better you better mind your business and stay in the queue where you belong." Oh goodness. Why are people like this? I was like, "I have a headache too. You're not special." I mean, I didn't say that. Uh, I posted on X Twitter. I'll be so excited. I still have my hold on. Let me make sure my account hasn't been deactivated. I still have my account, so you can still tag me if you want to make sure, like double, triple sure that I see it. I do still have my account, and it's still there. It's Diastrefo, just like it is here. So definitely feel free to tag me so I can retweet it. Should have gotten in the line faster. They wanted me in front of me. Really, it was so weird. She like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Excuse me, I have a headache." I'm like, I'm like, I don't have like Tylenol on me. I'm like, that's my condolences. She's like, "I'm really in a hurry to get home because I have a headache." I'm like, "That's nice. I'm in a hurry to get home because I'm hungry and I want to make a sandwich with the bread I just bought or I'm about to buy." And she's like, "Would you please let me go ahead of you?" And I said, "No." And then she just got like she got so like snappy. She's like, "Some people are just so selfish." I'm like, "Yeah, they sure are, ma'am. Have a nice day." Goodness. Sleep? Nah. Cyril doesn't sleep. He's too busy staying awake being tormented. He's too tired from staying awake and having existential religious crises. But don't worry, if Bronte ever came up to him and asked him how he slept, he would say that he slept well, thank you very much. So it's wild and rude of her. I know it was so. You should have heard after I said, "No, ma'am, have a nice day," and just turned around. She like after I got up to what are they called? I was gonna call it the register. That's not the cashier. That's what they're called. After I got up to the cashier and I was like, "Hi, how are you today?" Yada yada, the whole thing. Um, and I had finished. And again, I didn't really have much stuff. I don't. I'm a household of one person, so I don't buy a ton of food. And I had finished up and I was bagging up all my stuff, and I heard the lady behind her, excuse me, the lady behind me talking to the cashier. She's like, so, oh my gosh, sorry. She's just like, some people are so entitled and so selfish and everything. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. uh, Adventures at the grocery store. Fan art also has a song if you want to hear it. Yes, please. I'd love to hear it. I was buying one thing, standing in line between two people with their carts full, and all I did was stare off into space, waiting patiently. Never would have thought to ask to go in front of anyone. Exactly. I mean, and let's be clear. Like, if the lady behind me had like one thing in her hand, or like two things, I would have let her go in front of me. I'll do that in general, even if someone only has like one or two things. I'll be like, you can go ahead of me if you want. You've only got like one thing. Like if someone had just stopped in at the store for like a breakfast sandwich and like a drink and they were behind me, I'd let them go in front. No, she had like a full cart full of stuff, like easily double the amount of stuff that I had. And I'm like, I think I even said to her, I'm like, I have very little in my cart. I'm not gonna take very long. You can wait. I'm just like, good gracious. And even if I have like one or two things, right? Like if I have, like a breakfast sandwich and a beverage or whatever, if I've just stopped off at the store, um, I never ask to cut people. I'm happy to wait. I will just stand there and wait. Every now and then I do get people who say, "Oh, you can go ahead. You've only got a couple of things," but I never expect that. Why would you expect it? Anyway, whatever. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, or maybe I'm just honorary British and I don't mind waiting in a queue. Let's see here. I guess that'll do for just a sketch. Poor Bronte doesn't get to have a. We'll just give her we'll give her back her embarrassed face from before. Poor thing. She's just embarrassed. That's fine. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here pretty soon though, because I do need to go to the store and hopefully no one's gonna bother me and ask to cut me. But yes, I think it's coming along. It's just gonna stay a sketch, but I think it's cute. I like to do more things with the two of them interacting. I'm finding that those sketches usually end up being my favorites. So perfect. Well, yeah, just her little embarrassed face. What I hope to do is obviously this is gonna have because it's supposed to be raining, so there's gonna be like raindrops coming down from this direction, right? It's gonna be like rain kind of like splattering off of them, and they're both gonna be kind of wet. Well, she's gonna be more wet because she's been out in the rain. And then with that, there's also going to be kind of like the light. Come on. The light from this lantern here, I want it to kind of be like shining up and kind of bouncing off of them. So it's going to be like highlighting her face more, and you're really only going to get a little bit of the lighting on like the bottom of Cyril's face because of where he's holding it. And yeah, I just think it'll look cute. I think it'll kind of highlight Bronte, look really, really cute. And it can, I don't know how much I'm gonna really be able to see from like the background because it's kind of during a storm, so it's rainy, it's foggy, and all that. But they are out like in the orchard, so like there could be like trees and stuff back here. Maybe. but we'll see. But yeah, I think that is where I will leave this sketch for today. I will be, again, now that I've got internet set up, thank goodness, I will be streaming every other Sunday back here on YouTube, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you can make it, I would love to have you. I will also be posting some more, hopefully, in the community, the Discord. Well, I have a Discord too, but I will be posting more in the community that I have here on YouTube, thanks to that fun little update. And hopefully, fingers crossed, some new videos coming on the YouTube shortly. So thank you so much for your support, as always. I really, really do appreciate it, especially if you've purchased and reviewed Immolation. That really does mean a lot to me, so thank you very much. And thank you for enjoying Bronte and Cyril as much as I do. They are very precious to me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you later. And Sarah, I saw that you said wait, so don't worry. If you think of that song or if you have it ready, you can always ping me on Twitter to go ahead and send me that song, because I'd love to hear it. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys later. I'll be hanging out in the Discord, and don't worry if there's any shopping drama. I'll definitely let you guys know. Hopefully there isn't. I just want to get my eggs in peace. All right, have a good day, everyone.